Welcome, everyone, to episode 44 of the Pickleball Effect podcast. I'm Braydon.
And I'm Kyle.
Dude, we've been in this new space now. This is episode number 2 here. We didn't really talk about it last time.
Yeah, we had Jordan. We didn't talk about a lot of things because we had a guest.
Yeah, we just jumped in with Jordan. But yeah, we're trying out this new space, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Like it's visually cooler, and it's a buddy of ours a buddy of ours introduced us to the guy that owns this. He runs his own podcast and has this little setup, and we're renting it from him, and it's sweet.
It is. It gets us in the zone.
Yeah, it gets you in the zone. It's a bit of a drive, but it's worth it. This place is cool. We were recording Sunday nights. Now we record Monday mornings at 8 a.m., which is fine. I'm just not crazy about mornings. I feel like you're always up early.
I was up at 5 a.m. So
like that, but that's like your routine,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. I'm always up early. So 8 a.m. is nothing.
Are you working out? What are you doing?
So this morning I was just cleaning the house, but
it's 5 a.m.
Typically I get up at 5 a.m. to like work out or do something. Go play pickleball, whatever. But not today. I was just cleaning the house. The wife's coming home. So.
Do you have like one of those like internal body alarms, or is it an actual alarm?
I use an alarm, but I'll usually wake up if I like sleep through my alarm. I'll wake up at like 5:15 and like freak out. Like, oh no, I slept through my alarm.
Yeah, I'm the total opposite. Yeah, I'm feeling it's going to take me a minute to get going here, but that's okay.
That's good. That's good. We'll get there.
I was traveling this week. I was in Los Angeles doing the Newport Beach APP. That was fun. We'll talk about that. What did you have going on this week?
Played with a pro that came through town. We'll talk about that. Played some new paddles that I got in the mail. Had a talk with Proton. They sent me some paddles overnight.
They overnighted
me some paddles. We'll get into that. So I played with some paddles. That was basically it. Did a little bit of filming.
Cool. Well, I guess we can just kind of jump into
Newport Beach.
Some Newport Beach stuff. Yeah. So I was there. I was playing with Chris Olkin. I don't think I've ever said Olkin before. Chris Olkin. He does the Pickleball studio stuff. So this was our second tournament we've done together. We did Dallas a month or so ago, and then we played 5-0 men's doubles together, and then I did 5-0 singles. So this is the first year I've like traveled for tournaments like this. Like all tournaments I've ever done before has been like regional.
Like local-ish, like Washington, Oregon, Utah.
Like would drive within a few hours, right? And we're like, I know somebody, I can stay with them just to like save on costs. And so this is like the first year I've ever had like, this is my job now, right? So I can travel. It's easier to make time for this kind of stuff. And it's like a different, I mess with myself more in these type of scenarios. So Chris and I went 1-3. We got better as the day went on. Like I started off really bad. Our first couple games were rough, and then game 3 we played pretty solid. I felt like we had a good game there. And then we finally won our 4th game, and that's when we played our not even like played our best. We just played like normal. And I don't know, just like thinking back on it, I get in my head more so than I have from previous events. Like I'm looking forward to the event. I'm getting psyched up. I'm traveling. I'm spending money. Chris is traveling in. He's spending money, and like I put all this like pressure on myself to want to perform, do well. And then I'm also like, oh man, some of these people might know me. They're gonna judge me. They're not gonna follow me or watch my stuff if I suck.
You get like some imposter syndrome going a little bit.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that, and I just get so worked up. And I played horrible the first game, but as I relaxed and got started playing better throughout the day, and it's like, how do I achieve that kind of mindset of relaxed, playing loose, having fun in the 4th game out the gate? Do you have any tips?
No, because I suffer from the same thing.
You feel it too?
Yeah, like I'll go play that. What's like a perfect example is I'll go play rec play with all 5-0 plus guys, play great. Then a tournament comes, and I get nerves, and I'm playing 4-5, and I play like a 3-5. Like I just play terrible. Yeah,
it's such a funny thing. And when I look back to like my best performances in tournaments, they were, a lot of them were earlier on when I was like just starting tournaments. And like it's almost like the more tournaments I've done over the years, like I'm putting more pressure on myself, and like I'm doing more Pickleball Effect. I feel like I need to perform well. And like my best performances has been when I've been most relaxed. It was earlier on in my tournament playing days. And I'm like, okay, what was different then versus now? And I feel like it's the pressure I put on myself. And even though I know I'm a better player now than I was 2 years ago, and it's like, man, okay, I need to figure out how to, like, it's just all mental.
Yeah. You just have higher expectations of yourself.
Like, yeah. And I need to figure it out because I know the game's there. I feel like Chris and I know we both had the game to at least compete and potentially win each of those games. I didn't feel like we were outmatched, particularly because I mean, obviously they were going to be good games, but I felt like we, if we played normal, we could have won more of those and potentially gone into the playoff round. Anyway, so I'm thinking about that. I started reading a book called "It Takes What It Takes," which is like this guy that wrote the book. He's the mental conditioning coach for Russell Wilson. He's trained and worked with like hundreds of like athletes going into the combine, like drafts for NFL, other sports. Anyways, this guy's the real deal. And this is, I've been on the hunt, or I've listened to several of these books in the past, and this one's been the best so far. And so I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, and it's really good. I'll have to send you the link to it afterwards. But anyways,
I need a good book. So,
you reading anything else right now?
Not right now. I need a book. I haven't read a book in like a week or 2 weeks. So
yeah, I'll send you the link. This one's a good one. Anyway, it's got some good tips. I'll have to kind of follow up with some of my takeaways from that. But then I talked to this gal named Jamie Haas. Do you know who that is? She's really a pro.
Familiar. Okay.
So she's out of Hawaii. She travels to PPA, APP.
You told me about her. That's fine.
Yeah, she's like the nicest person in the world. Really good player. She'll make it through the first round in women's and mixed sometimes. She's made a couple of deeper runs in singles, but hasn't really broken through yet. She was just signed to the MLP Australia thing, which was kind of cool.
I heard the money's actually pretty good in that. I saw some people talking about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need to look at what
money-wise.
Yeah, Discord, they were like, there's actually some real money over there, so it should be pretty good.
Oh, cool. Well, even cooler for her then. Yeah. Like we were talking about that, and I was pumped for her because she's been working hard, and she's married. She's got a couple of kids, and like the grind is tough because they're little, and like I'm like, I want her to succeed. But I was telling her like, basically what I'm telling you now. I was like, what do you got for me? And she's like, I have to like trick myself that I'm not in a tournament. I'm not playing for what I'm playing for, and then I'm just here to have fun and play some pickleball. And she can't, because she spends a ton of money on flights.
Oh yeah, coming from Hawaii. Yeah, that's crazy.
And like she's got like kids she has to provide and take care of. Like it's a lot of work to get to these tournaments, and she could very easily put that same pressure on herself that I'm putting on myself. And so she's like, I just have to trick myself into not thinking about those things and just play pickleball. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like you just have to get out of that. But then I got this other tip, like a random one that was pretty good. So I'm in the airport flying home. I'm standing in the line to get my bag checked. This guy in front of me, he has this duffel with 3 wooden bats hanging out. And I'm like, no one carries wooden bats unless they're legit. 100%. Like they're playing in something serious. And so I tell it to him. I'm like, what are you doing? Like you're not just carrying wooden bats around. So he plays in like this really competitive senior, basically like the MLB for senior players.
Okay.
And he was just finishing up a tournament there. And like his dad had played in the MLB for 13 years. He made a run at it. He played in the minors for a long time. He helped, was like a hitting coach for a couple MLB. Anyways, he was like the real deal. Been around sports his whole life. And so I asked him the same question. I'm like, and he had he answered immediately. He's like, you got to go back to when you're 9 years old and just play for fun and not give a crap about anything. And I was like, okay, how do you get into the mindset of a 19-year-old? Like, that's what I got to get into. And anyway, so that's what I'm going to work on, dude. It's all 100% mental. Like I know the game's there. I know I can be competitive. I know Chris has the game. And he can be competitive. And when we're playing normal, we don't have to play exceptional. Like when we're just playing normal, like we can win. We can win games. And so it was frustrating that way. But this is all kind of new experiences with the travel. But I even this year alone, I feel like I haven't been performing particularly well regionally and locally as I have in the past. And I think it's just this added pressure, this mental game I've been putting on myself, and I need to learn to break free from that and get back to when I was 9 years old. Like that's what I'm going to try to work on it and get to. And so I've been thinking of that like frame, that like mindset as I'm listening to this book called "It Takes What It Takes," and all the strategies he's giving me it's all about like staying neutral. And there's a lot of, some of this stuff, he's giving me is like applications or like physical or just things I can do to obtain that mindset that I want. And so I get a lot of information from reading. Like that's how I learn in a lot of ways. Like reading and doing are the two things that I don't know. It's just like how I learn.
It's awesome. I really like that tip. That's a good one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And so there's another event this weekend. So this will be my first go at it. It's the 4-5 money ball.
Oh yeah, 4-5 money ball Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. So I just qualified. My Duper's 4-9.
Who's your partner?
I'm playing with Joe
Bonowitz.
No, Bulanon. He's
Oh, okay. The one I played again. The one you played with last week.
The Friday thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we're playing together. He kind of had that day he ran into a Braydon problem, dude. It was all mental, but it was good to get some reps at more pressure situations. That's another thing. I want more reps in more pressure situations. Mm-hmm. Like, where do we get that?
I think you have to go to those duper events because that's the only time where there's something that's on the line where it's still not like drastic.
Yeah, there just needs to be
just a little bit of pressure where you're like, my rating tanks if I play terrible.
Yeah, that little duper thing we did a couple weeks ago. Yeah, like that. It gives you a little pressure. I don't know, maybe like more money ball. Maybe I need to organize more money balls.
And I'll say I organized one the other day, basically, and it wasn't a lot of money. It was like, hey, everybody, $10 buy-in, first and second get paid. And like that's just enough pressure that people are like really playing pickleball.
Dude, just something like that. Yeah. Like it's just more than rec. Mm-hmm. And I need to recreate in more of those moments where I can feel a little pressure and then practice not thinking about it and just playing, right? Anyways, stuff I'm thinking about, dude, and it's just, it's just all mental. I know it is, but we'll get it figured out.
All right, you got to tell me about being in the booth. I got a selfie from Dom with you in the background.
Yeah,
hanging out in the booth.
He said that to me. We were both laughing, dude. So, yeah, I saw Dom there at the event, and he does the commentating for APP, right? And so I was like, bro, I want to get in the tent. I want to watch you guys do your thing.
That's cool.
So he's like, yeah, dude, just text me. We start at 1:00. This was on Saturday. And they were going live on ESPN Plus and like some of the, more than just YouTube. And so I text him. I get into it's basically this tent. It's facing championship court. It's him. Who else? It was Chad Edwards, I think his last name, and then AJ McCord are the three.
The main ones, yeah.
In the booth doing it. And so I got in there early before they started the broadcast. And so I watch them go live, do their little spiel, like a little 8-minute spiel before they start. And then I just hung out in there for a couple hours and just watched them do their thing. And like, it's really impressive, dude. Going live, like that sounds like the most intimidating experience ever.
Everything you say can be, can make or break you.
Yeah. Like there is no post-production.
No.
There is no script.
Yeah.
They're just watching, doing the play-by-play.
That scares me because, like, if we say something wild here that we're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, I can always edit it.
Yeah, people don't realize how much stuff we cut out from Kyle.
So many F-bombs.
But I was, like, so impressed by them. It was really cool. It was really fun being in there. And then we were just, like, courtside, so it was fun to just watch the games, be there in the moment. They have, like, 3 big screens with the replays, like, what's going on the TV, like, what's showing so they can see it. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty cool operation, and they're really sharp, man. Like they have really good takes. They're just coming out, it's just kind of on the go. Like they both have like notepads with some notes about the game beforehand, about their history. But they've just been doing this, and they just know the players. Like they're good. It's impressive.
So Dom has like notes. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast we had him, but he has notes on every player too. So he knows a lot about every player because he keeps almost like a journal on the players. Yeah,
he said he has like, I can't remember the number, but it was like a significant number of players he has like notes on.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he does coaching, like he knows how to like speak to the game, and like a lot of his experience and background, leads up to him. Like I can see why he's good at what he does. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're all really good at talking, and anyone that talks well, I'm like just so amazed.
You're like, give me those skills.
Like you guys are so good at talking. Oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah, you said you played with a pro this week?
Yeah, so she was about 6. Well, I did some research on her afterwards because I didn't know much about her. So she came to town. Her name's Nicole Pitts. She's a doctor of sports medicine. and she was like a top 25 singles player, like women's singles.
Wait, why was she in town?
She's visiting family.
Okay.
So basically, Maria hooked me up with her, and I set up an early game, and we played. So she's actually Tyra's half sister.
Oh, you didn't know this before? You like just learned it?
Well, Maria had told me.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know much about her. I didn't know how much pickleball she played. I didn't know that she was like legit.
This is Hurricane Tyra Black.
Hurricane Tyra Black's half sister.
Okay.
So very, very singles oriented in her game, you can tell, but she can bang.
So she played a lot of tennis, I imagine?
Oh yeah, she played pro tennis too.
Okay.
And then so we played some games with like Kirk, and then she played singles afterwards and beat him twice. Like
Kirk's not bad.
No, and Kirk's say he's not a slouch in singles at all. But it was fun. But yeah, so she was in town. We played. She said she recognized me, which means she's probably seen our podcast.
Yeah.
Then she also wants to come on the podcast.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, if we want a doctor, she wants to talk about like court shoes and recovery, stuff like that.
Oh, that might be cool. I mean,
yeah.
That's a big element of the game.
Exactly. So I was like, oh, I'll talk to Braydon. And she's like, you should also get Tyra on and ask her why she won't play with her sister. I was like, if you make that happen, I will totally ask her. I will point blank ask her why she doesn't play with you.
Is she in town for like a little bit? Like we could get her.
I think she just left. She was in town till Sunday, so I think she left yesterday. But yeah, so that was fun. Played some games with her.
Did you have any highlights like where you just smashed one on her or something?
I mean, she had good hands.
She was smashing on you.
Yeah, she was pretty good. She had one. She had some serious good drives. But no, they were all super close games, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
She played with the Hurricane paddle from Pickle.
She had the 16 or 14.
I think she had both in her bag. I think she was using the 16 though when we played.
Was she?
Yeah.
I keep telling everyone I'm going to publish this pickle review, and I just haven't done it yet.
People are asking.
I know. I need to. It's all written out. I finally finalized, and I'm doing this one a little bit different. Actually, let me get your take on it. I don't know if I've told you this yet. So
I don't think so.
With this review, I'm experimenting with what I'm calling like a brand page.
Okay.
So rather than just doing a deep dive of like a specific paddle, I'm doing like this brand overview.
Ooh, I like that.
So like I got the idea from like, I can't remember what I was researching, but I was researching a different product of an industry I just wasn't super familiar with. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I see these brand names, but I don't know like who are the recognizable brands. I don't know who are the medium or small. Like I just don't know anything about the brands that are available. And I was like, I wish there was more information about the brand and their products, just so I can get an idea of like what the general value prop is. You know, how big is this company? How small is this company? Because that can affect your purchase decision. Because like you want a reputable brand that has a good record of customer service or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
And so with this pickle one, I'm calling it this brand overview, but I have more information on the brand itself, like the perception, their UVPs, the pricing. I don't know, just a little bit more than just the paddle descriptions.
Okay.
So I have, a big chunk about that at the top, and then I'm doing the individual kind of just paddle summaries for everything in their series, and then adding some more elements of like, okay, if you're this kind of player, then this brand makes sense, and these paddles make sense. And it was trying something new there. And I think that'll be helpful for those who want the big picture of the brand, and then too, like just SEO, bro. Like, I have my deep dive stuff, which is great, but not everyone needs that much information. And so this is like a step up in, like it's a little shorter, a little briefer, and it's gonna hit a different audience and different keywords. And I'm just gonna keep taking over Google.
I like it.
And anyway, so this will be the first one. I'll get that out. It's written. I just need to
publish it.
Need to publish it. Need to go transfer it to the website, which is always a project.
Yeah.
Get some images and stuff. But I'll publish that. Send that around. Get people's thoughts. I'll have to see what you think of, like, okay, of the brand overview section. Like, what do we want to know about the brand? Whether it's the warranty, whether it's the brand perception. And then I have like a little bit about the history, but it'll be fun to get your take on how to kind of fill that out with information that like makes sense and that people want to see.
Well, then I love that because I like to connect to the brand that I'm supporting. Like I want to know who I'm supporting.
Yeah.
Because we have so many options. And let's be honest, there's good options with every single brand. So I want to put my money with brands that I support, whether it be like their mission or they're just likable or they're going to they're in it for the long run. Like you're not going to buy this paddle and then they're going to go away next week and then you don't have any service or longevity in that brand. So
yeah, that's good. I mean, I could actually probably add more information about like who the owners are, like where the company is located, like where they source stuff, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that's stuff I like. I don't know if everybody else likes that, but like that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in.
If you're interested, I know you're not. There's going to be others, right? Like we are the target market.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah,
so.
paddle nerds.
Okay, that's good, dude. Now I got to go revise it. It's going to take another day, but no, I think I'll get it up. But that's good. Like I'll add like in my little brand history. Or maybe I'll add like another little section about like the about them as far as like location, owners. Here's how to look up more information about them specifically. Because yeah, like a big part of pickles, like especially when you're as deep as we are, it's like okay, we know that these are the paddles we like, the type of paddles I like, and it's more like what brand do I connect with, who do I want to support, right? And like a lot of people are really cool and do that with me, like my overgrips and tungsten. Yeah. They're like, I can go buy all this stuff.
Yeah, but they want to support you.
But they're like,
they like you.
Braydon's poor and he's trying. Like, I'll support him.
Exactly. No, that's a real thing. Like, especially when like the price difference is like almost negligible.
Just a few bucks. Yeah. Yeah. Like if the price is between like, 120 and like 160, like for most people, it's not a matter of $40. It's a matter of which brand do I connect with. Exactly. I want to support. Anyways, that'll be fun. And then I'll have the website set up. Okay, like I have my deep dive reviews, and I'll have like brand pages, and then the hot list, and we're just gonna keep growing.
I like it. Keep growing. You could do like a top brands that you like, just like that you just like. Yeah. Like have nothing to do with their paddles, like just who you.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Stuff like that.
What do I got a note here? So I did a demo day at Flying Pickle the other day, and it's really impressive the amount of local viewers we're getting on here. Like just like random people that are like, hey, I watch your guys' podcast. Like old ladies. Like this lady had to be mid-60s. And she's like, oh, I watched your podcast. And she was like doing a 101 class with Stu or something, like a beginner class. And she's like, oh, awesome. I watch your podcast. And I'm just like, that's awesome.
Dude, I love that so much. That's all because of you, dude. So, but before you came on, my local presence was very small.
Nobody knew you had a podcast.
No, nobody even knew I had a podcast. Like you are so much more vocal about it all, and it's been huge locally. Like the growth is like 100% Kyle, and it's like I appreciate that big time from you. Like it's been great.
It's fun. I was like when people just are like, oh, like you said, they almost feel like they know you from us just here talking. Like they do get a good sense of our personalities. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. But even when we were doing like that demo day, or not demo day. Or just like when you and I were testing paddles last Friday, like we had a handful of people just come up, want to hit paddles with us. And like, I think that's awesome. I love that. Like I want people to come interact with us, test paddles. Like we're gonna keep doing that meeting Friday. Like we're gonna keep being more consistent with that. And like, it'd be sweet if that turned into a thing, like where people can show up and see what we're playing and hit with us.
Ask questions and stuff. Yeah. Well, this Friday we had a little tournament thing. You committed.
Wait, what?
Friday morning.
Oh, it's just like the normal Friday morning.
Yeah, well, it's a little tournament though.
Oh,
not duper though, but it's a little tournament. Okay. We're playing with the coal paddles.
Okay, maybe I didn't realize what I was signing up for.
It's called like the Rabbit Rumble. It's just like a seated tournament.
Well, this is just a normal like shuffle Friday event thing, right? So we show up at 6.
But they have like a little trophy for the winner and stuff.
Sweet. We got to come on with this trophy. I want the trophy to sit right here next month.
That'd be with the coal paddle.
With the coal paddles. Okay, cool. And then, but we were thinking about testing some like wide bodies.
Yeah, we can do that Friday if you want to do it.
You're still down to do that after?
Wide body rumble.
Yeah, that was the phrase. I was writing that down and I was like, Kyle had a cool name for it.
Wide body rumble.
Wide body rumble.
And then I have the trainer paddle battle.
Then you had the showdown for the Kevlar showdown.
The Kevlar shootout. Some people were like, you're gonna get demonetized. That's not like a bad term.
Yeah, you got the yeah, but I'm excited about the wide body one. There's a bunch out now. Because we had this idea for a bit.
We were waiting on the Monarchs.
We're waiting on the Monarchs and the Fat Boy, and they're here. So
I've been playing with the Fat Boy a lot. So
yeah, I picked it up a few times now, and yeah, we can maybe speak to it a little bit later. I'm not exactly sure when that's getting launched.
July 19th.
Oh, they have a date?
Yeah.
What's today?
What is today?
Today's the 8th. So that's
roughly 10 days.
Roughly 10 days. Well, sweet. Yeah, dude. The local viewership is growing. It's awesome. big thanks to Kyle. And it's fun to talk about it more. Like I had this experience. So Morgan McGovern, we were, this must have been like a month and a half ago. He and I are like just sitting and talking. We've been playing together for years now.
Yeah.
And he was talking to one of his buddies, and he's like, "Hey, I saw you talking to Braydon. You know Braydon?" He's like, "Yeah, I play with Braydon all the time." Like, who's Braydon?
Like,
he's like, "Oh, I watch his his pod and his reviews and stuff." And I was like, "I haven't met him yet. I need to go meet him." And Morgan's like, "Yeah, it's Braydon. Just good talking." Yeah. And so Morgan and I are sitting next to each other later, and he comes up and we start chatting and just kind of nerd out together on paddles. And Morgan's like, "I had no idea you did this stuff." And like, that just shows how poor of a salesman I am.
The guys you play with don't even know you do paddle reviews. That's awesome.
Like I've been filming our games, and I tell you I post these, but he's like, "Yeah, I didn't think anything of it."
He's like, "I'll watch them.
I don't care."
That's awesome.
But yeah, so it has been fun to like people coming up and chatting with us and nerding out. There's more paddle nerds than I realized.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot more than.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
I'm having an issue because when I run the demo day, I'm demoing paddles that are available in the pro shop. Like that's my demo day, and people know me from the podcast too, and they're like, "Well, no, I want to see the
under the table."
Yeah, they're like, "I want to see the J2K.
Give me the
I want to
J2K.
see the exactly." They're like, "Where's the Fat Boy at? Like, come on, I know you got a Shogun in your bag." I'm like
that's at the private courts.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's pretty good, dude. All right, let's hop over to Kyle's corner.
All right, let's talk about the Vulcan 2.0 ball.
Vulcan
Have you seen
2.0.
the videos coming out?
I've seen the one with Ben was like cursing at it. Or something.
Yeah, he was like, "It's trash," and like he's like dropping F-bombs, and then
I think he was playing singles.
Yeah, he's playing singles.
Got like a bad bounce off a serve or something.
I actually tried to pull the audio. Like I tried to like boost his voice so we could like really hear what he said, but I couldn't get it good enough.
Oh dang!
Because I was going to post it.
I think Means of Pickleball did something.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go look.
They posted. I'm pretty sure it's them posting that clip.
Okay,
the one you're talking about.
Well, you could kind of hear it, but I was like, I wanted to like really boost it up so you could like hear it clearly, but I couldn't get it to work. And then you had Colin absolutely just screaming at the ball, which was like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
You do a meme where he's like,
well, he was like doing this, and then like I instantly thought of Happy Gilmore. Like when he like, "Go when you're home." I was like, I had to post it. It was so funny.
That was good.
So yeah, it's getting some mixed reception.
Like I saw that, but I really haven't heard any talk about it from any other pros yet.
Well, there's been a bunch of pros that don't like it. I mean, obviously the Johns brothers hate it. But I think you're stuck with it. Is there any ball that's perfect? Because I think there's a flaw with every ball.
Yeah, but there was never this much talk about the ball with the Dura.
But is it just because it's change? I mean,
I don't know.
Everybody accepted. I mean, we need to go back and play with some Duras. Like I haven't played with the Dura in a while.
So I play with the Dura a lot, especially during the summer when we're outside. Like we only use the Duras, and I don't feel like the Dura gets out around, but
doesn't take a bunch of bad bounces.
I don't feel like the bad bounces are as like
prevalent
and like noticeable. Like we just play.
Yeah,
like, I don't ever go like, what just happened? Unless every once in a while like a serval stick.
Yeah. Well, I have issues like that with like the Selkirk ball. Like every once in a while the Selkirk ball just doesn't come up at all. I'm like that's terrible.
Right. There's no perfect ball.
So we'll see who cracks the code. I think Justin from Mark Pickleball talked about on their podcast something about why making the perfect ball is so hard.
What did he say? I
haven't watched it yet. I just saw the
thumbnh.
The thumbnail. I need to watch that.
He's pretty sharp. I'd like to hear his take on that. So I'll go look that up. Yeah, I don't know. Did you get your samples? Did they send some to you?
No, they said they would. Then I emailed them back, and I was like, "Hey, you guys said you'd send me some samples." And then they emailed back, and like, "Oh, sorry, we'll get them out." And they still haven't got them out, so I don't.
So I had pre-ordered some, and those came in.
Okay.
And then they reached out to me too, saying, "Hey, do you want some samples?" And so they actually sent me samples too. So they sent me 3, but I had ordered like 12. So I got a bunch. They came in while I was gone. So I literally just opened the box last night. I mean, just feeling it compared to the old one, it's hard to tell like what the difference is per se. Like I don't know if they say what the difference is.
No.
But they it's a slightly different color. Mm-hmm. It's a little more like, I don't know, a little like darker, a little more visible maybe. Yeah. Like it's a little different color. But it cracked me up, dude, when I was looking at the box. Like one of their taglines is preferred by the pros. And I was like, can you actually like legally say that? Like you paid to be the ball, the pros didn't like pick you.
No, yeah, and I don't like that because that's even in their ad. It was like, preferred by the pros. It's like they didn't pick, like it had nothing to do with what they wanted to play.
Yeah, like is that legal? Could they say that?
I don't think so, but I'm sure.
Anyways, I just thought that line was funny, but I don't have an opinion of it yet. I haven't hit it yet.
Okay.
The only thing I've seen is that viral meme of Ben. So I don't want to definitively say like whether
it's good. I played with it once.
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Susanna had one when she was getting ready for PPA San Clemente.
Was it enough to give you an idea of it?
It played fine. I mean, but again, these guys are playing in different. We're indoors at a very controlled environment at TFP. We're not in, because I think like San Clemente was like almost 100 degrees. So I mean, the characteristics of the ball are going to be way different.
Yeah, probably be a little much
70 degrees.
And sometimes I wonder, like at the pro level, like they're so good, they're hitting it so much harder than we are, that the ball makes a bigger impact on the game than say when you and I play, right? Like we're just amateurs. Like we can't smush it. We're not putting as much spin on it as they are.
They're hitting the spin.
I wonder if like if there is a flaw in a ball, they will find it quicker than maybe you and I. Like if you and I played with it, it's probably not as big of a deal.
So it's like an exponential flaw.
That's that's like the sense I kind of get from it. I don't know if that's true. That's just I just made that up right now.
I could see it. I would buy that.
But anyways, I don't want to judge it too hard yet. I need to go play it, and maybe it's really good. They did, man. I should have wrote this down. I felt like it was a little bit cheaper than it was before.
Yeah, I saw somebody said that, which is good because it was a lot of money for 6 balls.
Yeah, I didn't feel like robbed when I bought it, but yeah, I got a bunch of those. Maybe we'll play them this Friday.
So, all right. So my post of the audio about the paddles in the fridge went
bananas.
Went a little semi-viral for the pickleball world.
I'd say fully viral.
It got talked about on King of the Court. They sent it out in their newsletter, which they credited me in their newsletter because I gave Tyler a little bit of shit on his podcast. I was like, oh, you could have, credited who posted that audio.
Good.
He's like, I'll get you next time. And then the Dink wrote an article about it. So we didn't really get to talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
We kind of caught Jordan off guard. And
yeah, recap that for us.
Okay. So pulled an audio of a hot mic of Todd and Olivia talking about putting their paddles in the fridge.
And this was like a court mic, right?
Yeah, it was a courtside mic.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're just like hitting around, like
they were just talking,
right?
Yeah,
like this was super.
He's like, I don't know if my paddles are going to pass. I've got 3 in the fridge cooking right now, and she starts laughing. She's like, I have 6 in mine, and then basically at the end, which got cut out when I did the AI like court noise removal, she does say, she's like, well, we're all playing with the same paddles, kill or be killed, which I'm like, interesting. So Todd commented on my post defending it, which is fine. I want to talk about what Jason said because Jason is the president of the UPA.
This is Jason Aspis, UPA.
Yeah. So I'll read a little bit of what he said.
So you tagged Jason?
Oh, I tagged PPA,
and
UPA,
he
Jason.
commented on your post.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So I have it right here.
Give it to us.
Okay. So this is precisely why UPA has been using the independent testing from PPL. There are too many variables for paddles to change and perform differently from when they were certified by the USAP. The testing we have in place is not perfect. This is why we're going to move to UPA. In defense of Todd, there is no rule against climate controlling your paddle. In fact, manufacturers understand the importance of this and have built insulation into many of their bags being sold. The testing will only take place once paddles are at room temperature. PPL testers are fully aware that paddles will test better at cooler temperatures and will wait until the paddles... Where's it at? Will wait until the paddles have acclimated to room temperature. Same goes for paddles that are heated up from being outside or left in the car. We'll let them acclimate before they test.
Oh, fascinating.
So this is my issue with that.
Okay.
If you cool your paddle down, I look at it like a frozen burrito. If you microwave your frozen burrito...
It's going to soften up.
It's going to get hot on the outside. If you didn't go long enough, it's still cool in the middle. So you telling me that paddle's at room temperature, it might feel at room temperature. The core's not necessarily at room temperature, though. Like, how do you test, like... You see what I'm saying? Like, there's still too much variance.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, feels like cheating because the paddles, I don't think it's the player's fault.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like a manufacturer paddle testing like issue. This isn't a player cheating issue. This is like, we need to make paddles that can perform and stay in spec in all climates.
Yeah. Or do we just test the paddles at 90 degrees?
Yeah. Maybe they do the original testing at 90, because if it passes at 90, then it'll pass it anything lower.
Exactly. Then it should always pass. And I mean, I feel like that's a solution.
Or maybe that's what he's saying is like the solution is it should pass at room temperature. Like that's the main line. I don't know what were other takes. I imagine there were other comments. What were other people saying?
There was all kinds of stuff. Let me.
But you're essentially saying your take is you feel like that needs to be controlled better.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, in my eyes, it's still technically cheating, because if you feel your paddle's going to fail and you do something to make it pass, I mean, that is cheating.
Yeah, the paddle's hotter.
Like,
right?
just because there's a rule that says I can't look over your shoulder and copy your answers on a test, if I look over your shoulder, it's still cheating. Even if it wasn't written in black and white that you can't look over your shoulder. Well, you had Jame that was like, the fact you believe this blows my mind, but then that got figured out later. And then Travis, literally, I've never seen Todd even hint at a bad call. He's a straight shooter. That was before Todd basically said, yes, we're cooling your paddles. And a lot of people are. Yeah.
And like, I think it was cool of Todd to chime in and say, look, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, I don't see this as breaking the rules. And he's playing the game that he's allowed to play. Yeah. And it's like, I don't think this makes him look bad. I just feel like this is an issue.
No, I think this makes the tour look bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
More so than anything.
Yeah.
Especially with him justifying, like, it is weird that, like, oh yeah, players are cooling. Like, why not address it then? Like, why are we finding out through a hot mic?
Yeah.
This should have just been put out if this is happening.
I don't know. This is kind of a weird niche one. I don't know if you.
Well, we talked about it 10 episodes ago, though. Yeah.
But like Jason even came out and said, like, it's fine for now. Like, it's technically okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, we will see what happens when UPAA puts out their stuff. You had like normal people basically say it's cheating.
I do like that Jason at least said something.
Yeah. No, the fact that he even addressed it.
Like USA Pickleball probably didn't say anything.
Nope. No. And typically nobody ever responds when I tag people and stuff like that. So
that's
the fact that I was actually pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, that was cool to see the coverage on that. And like you started that, got the conversation started, which is
at least it brought a lot of eyes to it. So now it's going to be.
And like that Dink article, like, you know, like they had your post in there. They your title. I loved your title for the Dink post.
Which one was it?
They're like Kyle Tranga, owner of Dink Smash Media and co-host of the Pickleball Things podcast.
Yeah, he asked if he could put that. I was like, yeah. I was like, it might tarnish Braydon, but let's throw it out there.
No, I don't feel tarnished, dude. I am proud.
It was good. No, he was a nice guy. He reached out to me on Discord actually, and was like, hey, can I share this and put it in the article? Can I tag you? I'm like, yeah, go for it, man.
And it was well written. Like, yeah, he did a good job. But yeah, that was kind of. And then you have another note here about Manitou. So this was the local courts we talked about being resurfaced a few episodes ago.
It got resurfaced and it stayed pickleball. So I'm happy.
So there was 6 courts all resurfaced.
So 4 courts, 4 dedicated courts.
Are there only 4 dedicated?
Yeah. And then there's 2 tennis courts on the other side. One of the tennis courts has both tennis courts have lines, and then one tennis court has like the lines on each side where you can bring your own net. Okay, cool.
So they resurfaced tennis and pickleball.
They've resurfaced all the courts.
Dude, tell me they redid the nets.
So, yeah.
Because those were...
No, they were like leaning in.
Yeah.
The nets are good now.
Okay, cool. Well, sweet.
So, yeah, I got to go play. I haven't played yet. Yesterday somebody told me, they're like, oh, it's great. I'm like, okay.
Like, that's a win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like we were unsure if they were going to just delete
pickleball. Yeah, the rumor was they were deleting pickleball and going back to tennis. So the fact that they resurfaced it and left it pickleball makes me happy. So.
That's awesome. Sweet. That's a win for Kyle and for pickleball there.
Boise pickleball.
All right. So let's talk about some paddle battling gear.
Yeah, with this top note. Let's go.
Okay. So, okay. I want to be a little careful with this subject because I want more information before we start speculating.
Yeah.
But there were some more Proton questions that came up this weekend. So I'm going to share the fact that happened, but I don't want to dive too deep into this. I know that you're like, I'm ready to go. No, I mean, let's talk about this.
I actually had a talk with Charles the day before this happened.
Okay. So maybe you can share that conversation. Yeah. But so this is the fact, and then I think we'll save the deeper conversation for another episode as this kind of plays out a little bit.
Are you gonna call that? Are you gonna talk to them about this?
To who?
Proton.
Yeah, I've already talked to them. Okay. So Billy, we've mentioned Billy's name. He comes up. He's an instructor at the Flying Pickle locally. He's doing the quality grind. So he's playing in APP Newport, which is where I was this week for men's qualifier. He gets there. I think they play Wednesday. He gets randomly selected to get his paddles tested.
Oh, it's random?
Yeah. Oh. They don't test all qualifier paddles. His was randomly selected. So the week before, I was testing the Proton. I had the 11 millimeter standard. And I was talking to Billy about it. He's like, hey, I'm interested. He was just there like while I was hitting. Or maybe we text, I don't know. Anyways, he's like, I'm interested in the paddles. So I'm like, yeah, go check it out. Or you can try it. He tries it out. He really likes it. He's like, this kind of fits my style. It's quick. The spin's there. It's a little more muted than some of these hotter paddles he had been testing because he's kind of on the hunt for like a new sponsor. And he's like, okay, I'm liking this Proton. I was like, can I use it in Newport next week? And I'm like, oh wow, like that's a cool like green check for Proton here.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Like, go put some hours on it. Go break it in for me, right? So he takes the Proton, the Series One, square 11 millimeter. He submits that in an Engage paddle. That's the other paddle he's been testing. So the Engage goes through. It's fine. The Proton. So USAP runs the testing for APP events. They do like a paddle scan, and then they do like the grip test.
So paddle scan, like the ultrasonic thing?
Yeah, they do. Okay. That's the test for like core crush.
Yeah.
So they do that, and then, but then they inform him that his paddle failed and he can't use it, and they had referenced that they're questioning whether the surface is legal, and so I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Okay, I know you want to do more.
No, I'm just laughing because they approved it.
Well, it passed those tests.
Okay.
Well, like, I mean, it's smooth, right? And so, like,
yeah, but I'm saying USAP approved the Series One. Like, Nanotech's been Nanotech,
right? Yeah. So the question, why did it fail? And so I went and talked. So Billy was telling me this, and I felt really bad for him because he had been playing well with it. He liked it, and he had to end up playing the paddle that he wasn't like mentally preferred. And he actually had played a good game. He lost in the first round, but it was like 15-13. It was close. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so he didn't get to play with the Proton, and then rumor was that other Protons in at the higher levels weren't being used at that APP. The amateur was fine. So that was the fact. I know that happened to Billy. So I talked to USAP. I went to the tent and I was like, give me more information. They gave me their side of the story. I went and talked to Charles. He gave me his side of the story. Different stories. Okay, I'm getting different stories, and what Charles is going to talk with USAP about it today, I guess.
Okay.
And so I want them to talk before we speculate, or like, I just want to know like why it didn't get approved. And so whatever the result is, we'll report on it. But like, I don't want to come out and be like, oh man, Protons are getting banned everywhere. Cause that's not, this is like the first time I've heard of this. This could be an isolated case. I don't know if someone has having a bad day. I don't know exactly what happened. I'm hearing different stories. And so I'm going to let the powers that be figure that out. Okay. And we'll report back on kind of what the resolution to that situation was.
Okay.
No, I
was just gonna make the joke that maybe Charles gave you a juiced paddle to review.
But no, I did talk with Charles about it, and I talked with USAP, and so we'll get more information on that later. But but it's just funny that Proton just keeps coming up.
I know.
But you played with the Proton 15 elongated.
Yeah, so they sent me
this week, just like paddle testing.
Yep, they sent me the 15 millimeter elongated, and then 2 Series 3s, and then today Is today Monday? Yeah, today's Monday. He said he's going to send me a square 11.
Okay.
And the 4.
The square 15 is the only one I don't have.
Okay.
I hope they send you that one because I'd like to play that one.
I think he just said he's going to send me the 11 square.
Okay.
And then the Series 4, the Roadrunner.
I think Megan Dazon uses the square 11. I'm pretty sure Andres
too.
Showers were using those. So I think that seems
everybody's
to be
using the
one.
11. And I think I know why.
Okay. Tell me.
Very high swing weight. It was static weight was pretty high too. It weighed 8.28.
Mine was like 8.6.
I thought, I heard when I heard mine was actually pretty low but 8.28, swing weight 127.
Yeah, big numbers.
And you could feel it.
Feels heavy.
Like it was fine from the baseline, transition, control was good. Hands battles, just a little too slow. And I hope the 11 fixes that because the paddle does play great. It's just a little too slow, the 15 at the net.
Yeah, the elongateds are heavy.
So
yeah, I can concur. I mean, just look.
What was the swing weight on the square?
Dude, I can't remember. I want to say it was around 115-ish.
Okay.
I could probably look it up.
I mean, that's fine. That's manageable.
It was definitely more manageable. It was lighter. But all of their paddles are heavier than you'd expect, which I'm not totally against, it's particularly for the 11 millimeters because normally with the thinner, it's going to be less stable and adding weight can help there. I did think the 11 needed some weight still on the standard to kind of true it up.
Okay.
And Billy put some weight on his and he liked it there. But okay, so it's a little slower, but outside of that.
No, I liked it. Good spin, good control. It was great in transition. Resets were solid. It was funny though, because it weighs 8.28. My normal paddle is the Shogun at 9.5. The fatigue I felt off the Proton was much more.
Was higher.
Way more.
Just because.
I think just the swing weight.
Well, the swing weight. Well, I mean, the swing weight on your Shogun is probably high too.
Yeah, it is, but it's not that high. I think it's 122, 123, something like that.
So it's not as.
It's only a few points, but it was noticeable. I noticed it.
Do you have the Slyce set up on your Shogun?
I do.
Do you pull that out? Let's talk about that. This is a good transition. Okay. Let's talk about
the Slyce.
The Slyce. So this is surprisingly been such a hot topic.
It is.
Well,
yes.
Maybe not hot, but people are talking about it.
It's gaining traction. Well, because Q talked about it.
Yeah. Well,
I've been talking about it. Chris is now talking about it. We're going to get you talking about it.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about it right now.
So they have two options.
This is just the butt cap.
Just the butt
cap.
cap.
If anyone doesn't know what this product is, it's a weighted butt cap. So you take the butt cap off of your stock paddle.
Yeah.
You add the Slyce weighted butt cap to it.
I'll throw a picture up on the podcast. Okay. But basically they offer two options, 0.5 ounce and 1 ounce. You have to remove your stock. You have to be okay kind of taking your paddle apart. And some paddles you can't do this. So you have to, they have basically caps for your paddle. So make sure you.
So when you buy it, you select what paddle you play with, right?
You select it. And if it's not in there, hit them up on Instagram because they're super responsive and they'll tell you if they have a cap that'll fit. Okay. And then, so you have to remove your grip, take the staples out of your original butt cap, take your butt cap off.
Was it hard? It sounds like a process. Not for Kyle.
Well, no, some people are having issues getting the staples out, but I'm I just grabbed a small flathead and just popped them right out. But then you use a little athletic tape and then you just basically push it back on there and grip it up and it stays solid.
So what's the idea? What their marketing, what do they promote for this?
Some of their marketing is more power, faster hands, better feel.
Okay, so that's the promise. And I have been skeptical of weighted butt caps in the past because I've messed with that with the Gamma and a few others. But my opinion is changing, and I'm going to share it in a minute.
Did you try the gripper?
The grip, yeah.
The grip? Is that what it's called? Okay.
Yeah, there's two brands that do the weighted butt cap. You have grip, and then you have the Gammas.
Okay.
And those it's actually a pretty slick system where they just have
coins that kind
of pop in and out.
That's kind of cool. So it's adjustable.
Yeah.
So the idea is it basically shifts the balance point down, makes the head feel lighter.
And then, do you like it?
I do. I love it.
Why?
So it basically now I have a 9.5 ounce paddle. It just feels really solid. It does feel like it increased the plow through. I wouldn't say it really made the control any better. It feels more solid. in your hand. It almost gives me the same feel as like the Mavericks paddle. Like I just feel like more of the weight's lower, which I kind of do like that feel. It feels faster at the net. It looks slick and you can have your name put on it and stuff. So like there's the aesthetics to it.
And I've heard that this butt cap's a little more prominent. Do you like having the bigger butt cap?
It actually, it feels good. Have you felt one?
No, I'm sorry.
You can't feel it totally because I have the Hessicore too. So I'm sure if I had just had a regular grip on there, you'd feel it.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like it's a little more pronounced.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I can see how people would like that. Like,
and I think I do think if the Hessicore was gone, that it would be actually much more. But yeah, I've been liking it. Bunch of people used my code to get them, so the people are liking them.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least trying.
And like they're sponsoring pros, like they're making a move there.
Yeah.
What's your code?
Clinger,
if someone's interested, what's your code?
Dink Smash.
Dink Smash. Code Slyce butt caps.
Yeah.
They're fairly expensive. How much they cost?
Well, I think with shipping, they're like almost $30.
Yeah, like
they are nice. Like, and yes, there is do-it-yourself solutions. We're seeing it all over Discord. Taping quarters to the bottom, using tungsten, using your tape to basically go around the bottom.
Yeah, like that's another question I have before I share my opinion. Like, do you think it matters to have the weighted butt cap, or if you just put like a strip of weighted tape here? Like,
I think if it was like that, you wouldn't feel it as much. Like the way they've been doing it is actually wrapping it around.
All right, but like that's what they're doing. But like, does it actually make a difference?
I don't know. We should.
I'm gonna test
that. Sounds like a good test. Yeah,
I'm gonna test that.
Yeah,
like I just want to look at the balance point.
We should test different.
Like, would it give you the same effect?
Different weight options.
So here's my take on it, and this is why I'm more interested in it than I was before. So when I tested the gammas and the grips, I didn't add any weight to the top. I only adjusted the butt cap weight. Okay. So it brought the balance, and I was like, this kind of just threw it off. It didn't feel right to me when I played with that much weight only in the butt cap without doing anything else. The balance was weird.
Got it.
And I did notice that just having the weight, period, I did like a little power test. It gives you like a touch more power.
Okay.
And it did feel like a little bit softer, which are things that happen when you add weight to the paddle. Like those are the benefits.
Yep.
And it's funny that like no matter where you add the weight, just having a higher static weight will typically give you a little more power, just because there's more weight behind
more
the
mass,
more mass. And so when I doing just the butt cap weight, I was like, I'm not into this. Like it doesn't improve the twist weight, doesn't make it any more stable. I don't feel like it just made it feel kind of weird to me. And then I watched John Q's review. So he says, or what he did is he adds the weight to the bottom, and then he adds more weight to the top than he did before. So where previously maybe he was only doing like 3 grams on the sides, now he's putting, maybe 4 or 5 grams with the weight. Because having that balance point so low and the weight in the butt cap gives you more freedom to mess with the weight in the head.
Got it.
And I was like, oh, maybe that's the power of the Slyce butt caps, is it opens up what you can do up top. So you can add, like you're weighting yours to 9.5 and it doesn't feel crazy,
great.
right?
All day and I'm not even tired.
And you don't feel that arm fatigue like you'd expect.
Yeah.
And so I'm hanging out with Chris this week, and he's messing with the Slyce butt caps, and he did the same thing. So he was playing with the Volaire. He had a heavier Slyce butt cap. I can't remember which one it was. He had that on there. He had the Hessicore.
Yeah.
Then he had my 0.5 gram tungsten on the entire head.
Oh wow.
Like is really heavy. And he's like historically kind of like me, where we prefer a little bit lighter paddles. And he ended up taking a little bit off the top throughout the tournament. But it was kind of the same idea of where you're bringing the balance point down, and which allows you to add more weight to the sides without increasing the swing weight too much. Or I guess like the swing weight goes up, but having the balance point down kind of counteracts that a little bit. Because the swing weight matters, but it's the actual like swing speed, how it feels, is kind of a combination of like swing weight, static weight, and balance point.
Yep.
Like there's more than just swing weight, although the swing weight's like the main like factor. And so I need to mess with it. I need to go put it in there.
Did you hit him up yet?
No, but I am much more interested than I was previously.
Nice.
And I want to mess with it. And so, but I'm also curious if this butt cap is the best solution versus just weight in the handle. Because I've heard people doing weight in the handle. I know it's a very common thing in tennis. And I was like, are there alternate solutions?
So some guys found the exact same weight, like an ounce, like tungsten, like basically washer looking thing, and they're just taping that to the bottom. It's an ounce.
Yeah, could you do something like that?
Yeah, and there's people doing quarters, and there's people, and that's like, obviously there's going to be more ways. Kirk said he actually will remove his remove his butt cap and put like caulk in it, like enough to weight it up.
Like he'll just shoot it in there.
Yeah. And I guess that's a tennis thing. There's like adding caulk to your handle thing.
Yeah.
So there's definitely more options. The Slyce looks good though.
Yeah,
and it's machined nice.
And but the idea of it's probably, there's more to it than I originally, gave it credit for, and I'm going to experiment more with it. Yeah. So I'll be messing with that. But like, it's so funny to me. It's like your setup here. So you got the Slyce, you have a Hessicore, and then the tungsten.
I have every accessory you can put on a paddle.
That's like $80 of stuff right there.
Don't worry about it. And it's still my favorite paddle. Like, it's like, what's your favorite paddle? I'm like, dude, the Shogun. Like every time I go back to it. And it could just be the way I have it set up though, because I don't set up, like when I test paddles, I test them stock first. I don't throw a Hessicore and wait and slide. I'd be poor if I did that.
Yeah, these accessories are getting a little pricey.
They are. But
I am more because I am a fan. I think just weight in general is beneficial. I think you want to have as much weight as you can manage without it affecting your hands too much. And so if this is a way where you can add a little bit more weight, I think I can see the power in it. Yeah. But I could be proven wrong on this one.
We'll see.
I'm rarely wrong.
You are rarely wrong.
But I could be wrong.
You'll be wrong here, though. You're going to be like, I actually really like this.
Thanks for your take there. Yeah. Okay, a couple other notes here on the gear and stuff before we finish up. So while I'm in, where was I? Newport. A lot of brands are there. I met Daryl from Vatic Pro. I actually didn't recognize him when I first saw him. So Chris and I are just standing hanging out, and this guy comes up and is like, "Oh, Chris," and it's Daryl. Yeah, yeah. And they're like, Chris is like, "Oh, hey, have you ever met Braydon?" And I'm like, "Oh, hi, I'm Braydon." And they're like, "Do you know who this is?" I'm like, and then he takes off his sunglasses. I'm like, "Oh, Daryl!" I'm like, "Oh, bro, what's up?" And it was just funny that I didn't recognize him at first, but like I'm used to that. Like when I'm hanging out with Chris, he's like a celebrity. Yeah, like people will come up to us. They'll like, "Chris, what's up? I want to pick." And as they're leaving, they're like,
"Oh, people want pics at them too?"
Oh yeah, nice. Tons of people come up for pictures, and then as they're leaving, they're like, "I like your stuff too, Braydon." And like it's so funny. I love it. And but no, like he's a celeb, and so I just thought that was just like this is another Chris, another fan, yeah. Oh hey, Braydon. But it was Daryl, and anyway, he was really cool, really down to earth, and he hung out with us a bunch, and he was like the only brand that wasn't like pitching us. He was just like hanging out.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Do people come pitch Chris all the time? Like
everyone's pitching Chris, and when you're at these events, both of us are getting pitched. I mean, Chris is a big win. Like you get Chris on your team, and it matters.
Drive some sales.
If I was there, I'd be pitching Chris. Yeah, and it's so funny, dude. Like I remember when we were in Vegas, we were his brother Isaac was like filming the what do you call it, like a live blog, video blog,
like a vlog.
And so like we're walking up to like this little meet and greet thing we had planned, and Isaac's like, "Braydon, are you ready for everyone to come to say hi to Chris?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am mentally prepared." And Chris, he handles it like a champ. But he's probably like more people are like taking pictures than him with the
That's funny. And, so there's a lot of paddle nerds out there.
Oh, dude, so many paddle nerds, and no, dude, it was fun, dude. Like I like mad props for Chris. It is so impressive what he's built, like the community aspect and like his audio. Like it's really cool and really impressive. Chris has got a good thing going, and he's just going to keep growing. The kid's a stud.
I'm waiting for him to get tired of me on his Discord. Like, Kyle, shut up.
Where was I going with this? Okay, yeah, we're talking about brands. So one of the brands I chatted with the most was Carbon. Okay. So this is CRBN. They one of the guys that helps with their R&D, he shot me a text after we talked. We hung out for a long time, and he was just telling me how they're doing their R&D and stuff. And he's like, all this is like it's confidential. Don't go too in depth. Keep it vague. And so I'm going to try to keep this vague, but I also want to like convey how cool it is what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I'll just say this about Carbon. So their Carbon Concepts program, they have a few of these paddles out in the wild. and people have been talking about it, trying to figure out, speculate when it's going to release and stuff. But I don't want to talk about like when it's going to get released because they're working on that. But their carbon concept program is so cool. So I feel like Carbon, like they may have the best R&D program that is happening.
I didn't even know about this at all.
So yeah, like people don't know. And we were like, I don't know, we were just talking, and one of the like things I like suggested, I was like, if you guys can convey what you're doing on the R&D side, it would give you guys even more credibility and to what you guys are doing. And so they are able, I'm not going to talk about how they do it, but I'm just going to talk about the output. So they have a guy in LA that helps them do this R&D. He's making paddles in his house, but he's able to make paddles in a way. So this carbon concept, it's fundamentally different than how paddles are being made now. Okay. And it's really cool what they're doing. They're doing things different. It's not a paddle
you can't talk
that you've seen out there. Okay? It's fundamentally different. So he's able to make paddles on the fly in his house. And the reason I think this is so powerful is because they can iterate
changes
so fast. Yep. He makes a design, they test it, they tweak it, they come back, he can make another one, and he goes and redesigns, makes another one, they test it. And like I didn't get to go see the place, but Chris was there a day earlier, and he went and hung out and saw like how he's doing it. And he's like, yeah, there's just stacks of paddles everywhere. And like I think there's so much power in this, because when other companies are talking about R&D, they're like, okay, we added a facing layer, like we did wider or smaller. Like they're just testing what different configurations that are available from the factory, where they're not, and like they have to get samples shipped and remade, and like
it's a much slower process.
It's really slow. And like, yes, they're innovating, but not to the same level of what Carbon's doing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is cool. Like they're figuring it out. They are doing like just the ability to test stuff so quickly and iterate so fast with so many different prototypes.
Did they send you home with a paddle?
No, but I did hit some they had. I don't have details of like if they had the final concept. They're working on the launch and scaling the process and whatnot. But it's going to happen, and I'm very interested and excited about what they're doing. But I just think it's really like they sold me, dude. Like I was like, okay, this is cool.
I've actually never hit a carbon paddle
ever.
No, there's just it's not a big brand locally.
Yeah.
And they didn't respond to my Instagram message. So
those bombs.
Maybe they'll email them. I feel like paddle brands like 80% respond Instagram, the other 20 is
otherwise
email.
Yeah, no, that's true. Anyway, so Carbon, I'm excited about what they got going on.
That sounds sweet.
It'll be fun to. I'll tell you about it offline because it's pretty cool. And then I wanted to talk Reload for a second. Reload launched, right? So
did you check out their marketing, their Instagram and stuff?
That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm about. So we talked about Reload in the past. They have the removable face sheets, but it's a raw carbon face sheet. And then what's different from them and like the Pickle skins is they have the base that's like flat. It doesn't have existing grit when you buy the paddle. But they, apparently been working on this for years, trying to get everything ready. That they have the product, they made the website, they launched it. You can go order paddles, and it was rumored they were going to launch with a subscription model.
Yep.
And no one seemed particularly stoked about the subscription model, and they did it anyways, and they got a lot of backlash.
Lots. Well, at least from what we see on Discord.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the general populace is, but I feel like it's going to be a good indication if that's how Discord is.
100%. Yeah. And the general population probably doesn't even know about them yet. It's the Discord people. It's the nerds that are like...
Well, they're going to drive it.
That are going to drive it and know about this launch. And so they came out with 3 tiers. And it was just confusing. Like the website wording, like they were using different words to describe the same thing in multiple places. Like their subscription, like they had 3 tiers. It wasn't totally clear on like what exactly you were getting. Like they had like sometimes they'd phrase, oh, it costs $25 a month, and they'd be like, oh, actually, but you're billed yearly at $300. Yeah. And so you're like, it was confusing on like how much it was going to cost. And then, but as you move up in tiers, It goes from like 300 to 540 to 1,000.
Yep.
And that would just change the number of sheets you get throughout the year.
And the amount of base paddles.
That was another confusing thing. So if you go up in tiers, they made it sound like you get multiple bases.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Oh no, if you look at the $1,000 one, it says you get 4.
You don't. That's what another confusing thing. So Troy, they were there. I talked to him about
the
this.
website says that though.
That's what it sounds like. So they have a
so confused.
This is part of the confusion. So they have a program called Paddle Care.
Okay.
So the 4 that they mention, 4 bases that they mention on the premium subscription means you get 4 replacements. Oh. So if your paddle dies, like the base model breaks,
they'll give you another.
Whether it delaminates, core crushes, throw it against, I don't know, if it just breaks, then you get 4 replacements for the year.
Oh yeah, I read it as they just give you 4 paddles.
That's what
I saw people like, oh, we could just split the cost, then we all get a paddle, we all get X amount of sheets.
Yeah, and I think that's why they don't do it that way.
Got it.
Is so that doesn't happen.
Got it.
And anyway, so it was like really confusing, this launch, and but the idea is sound, and I guess they commented in Discord that they're gonna rethink.
Yeah, they're gonna come out with. Nick commented saying that we heard you guys. There's going to be a standalone option. But my thing to that though, like the $300 option, you pay $300 for the year. I mean, that's like buying one Selkirk Labs paddle. I mean, how is that? I mean, you're calling it a subscription, but you're gonna get a base and you're gonna get whatever your 12 sheets.
Right.
Like, to me, that's still just cancel it. Like that. Then you did basically buy it standalone, right? I mean, I don't know. That's still expensive, but
right, it's still expensive, but like. I get where people are coming from, but it still feels like a good deal, right?
Yeah.
Like because of when you really break it down and think about it, it's like, okay, it's still a good deal. And they were trying to convey that, but it wasn't getting across.
No. If you love the paddle, if you like, some of these guys change paddles, not get new paddles, but like change brands like forever.
Yeah, brand loyalty is not really a thing in pickleball.
I go to the park, I see people that have been playing with the same Selkirk amped paddle for 4 years. Where I feel like this model would be perfect for that person.
Yeah.
Where they like their paddle, they don't want to change, but then they're getting that performance over and over again.
Mm-hmm. No, there's definitely a market for it. And I wasn't like totally against the subscription model, but I wasn't for it.
Yeah. People hate subscription.
People hate subscription. It does. It gives you a bad taste in your mouth. And like you want the brand to feel like they're working for you and not for them, right? Like you want to be the center and you want the experience to be centered around you. And it didn't feel that way. Like if this was like a customer centric experience, I feel like they would have options. Like subscription should totally be there. If I like the paddle, I want to subscribe to the sheets, and it just shows up and that's easy. It's great. But if I just want to pay as you go on the sheets, like that should be an option. I should be able to buy the base, buy as many sheets as I want, and just buy more sheets as needed as an option, but then still have this, like you can keep the subscription.
Yeah.
It just needs to be an option, not the only way. And then it was just like confusing because they're like, oh, we're going to license this. We're also going to, these sheets will be available in retail.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah.
What?
No, it is a little like diluted. Like what's actually, like what is the model? Yeah. Cause I had talked to Troy and he did say there would be sheets available in like some pro shops and stuff. So you can get them via subscription or retail, and it's like, why would you do the subscription? If I could just go, unless it's like way cheaper, like the Amazon subscribe and save. Like if it's like the sheets are 40% cheaper if you're subscribing versus if you go buy them retail.
Yeah.
So that might be what happens.
Maybe. Yeah, they could potentially make more money that way, right? Yeah. Like maybe they charge more for the single purchase of a sheet versus a subscription. Like that's very common, and that makes sense.
And I mean, that should make some people happy, I think. Like if you don't want to subscribe, then you pay, $100 for the base and $50 for a set of sheets.
Yeah, but it sounds like they took the feedback well. And Troy was there. We're chatting with him, and he took Chris and I's feedback really well. Chris was like,
did he hammer him?
He was like, he didn't hammer him, but he was like, this is what I think of it. Yeah. Really going like. Troy and I kind of went through the website and I shared my feedback, but Chris took it to another level and was like, wrote like a doc put together. He's like, this is how I would change everything. And I was like, wow, Chris, that was really nice of you.
Did you give him like a business plan?
Like, pretty much. And, but they accepted it. They took it well. And that goes a long way. It's like brands who can take feedback. Not everyone has taken feedback from me well.
No.
And those who do, I respect a lot because that says a lot about the person, I think, and the brand that they're willing to change and get it right. You don't I don't care if you get it wrong, but if you're willing to change and make it right, then that's great.
Yeah, you're a stand-up person.
There's nothing wrong with doing things wrong as long as you can get it right later.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Anyways, I am excited about that paddle. I don't have them yet, but when we get them in, we'll go mess with that one. I do want to review the reload because I do think that they're solving a problem that needs to be addressed. Like they're solving the durability and the spin, what I feel like is the right way. Mm-hmm. And I think they have the product. And once they get some sort of pricing situation figured out, I can see them killing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's definitely a market for that. They just got to get them.
Yeah. And hopefully they come out with more shapes. That's another challenge. They're launching with the one shape, one thickness.
It's like the Hyperion Gen 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, and that doesn't fit everybody. No. And so they'll expand down the road, but they're out the door. Excited about that. I think we've been running a minute. Is there anything you want to hit on before we wrap it up?
No, we just got the looking ahead. We got a MLP in 2 weeks in Salt Lake, so come say hi to us if you're there.
Yeah, we'll be there. You got us media passes for that?
Well, yeah, I got the app. Yeah, we'll be set up with media passes.
Sick, dude. So we'll be staring down the athletes.
I heard from another guy who just did the last tournament with his media pass that like we actually get access to like some interviews and stuff too.
Ooh.
So we'll have to come up with some good stuff. No underwear questions. We'll
work on this together.
Yeah, we'll come up with the questions together.
Braydon, stop putting the underwear questions in there. So yeah, that's exciting. Do I need to buy? You bought tickets originally,
so I guess you don't. As long as we get these, I guess you don't have to buy tickets. I did already buy tickets because I didn't know
we were gonna have those passes.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, I didn't know that our podcast could actually qualify us to get that kind of access. So
yeah, I didn't know either.
So I'm always working an angle.
Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, you got that one done. But yeah, that's coming. That'll be fun. There's no PPA events for a minute.
No,
I think MLP is the next event.
Yeah, was it next week? The Beer City Open thing.
Beer City Opens this week.
Yeah, this week. Yeah. Monday.
We're Monday.
I always forget. I think we're filming on Sunday. It's Monday.
Yeah, we're Monday. Yeah, so. Beer City, which is like an independent event.
100% free admission too for like MLP, like the
you mean
spectator?
Like for spectators?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty sweet.
Yep. And then we got the wide body rumble coming up. We're gonna do a little trainer paddle comparison the week after that.
Okay, so wide body rumble Friday.
Okay,
that means we'll talk about it next week.
Yep.
Sweet.
But yeah, I think that does it for us.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Have a good day.